of the New Patriotic Party has held a meeting to, among other things, update members and finalize preparations for the upcoming Special Delegates Congress slated for Sunday, August 31. Join News' Kwabna Chenchahene Boateng was at the national headquarters of the party and has come through with this report.
The meeting, which lasted for more than 6 hours, updated members of the steering committee on preparations so far in relation to the upcoming Special Delegates Congress. Earlier, reports suggested that the party was to discuss recent happenings, including the scuffle that ensued at the party's headquarters last week when some angry youth besieged the premises. But the party's General Secretary, Kwabna J. Japan, in his address to the media after the meeting, said the committee decided to shelve that matter till after the elections on Sunday. He later gave a breakdown of the rules and regulations governing the election.
First and foremost, all the registers for this election has been dispatched to all aspirants. And all aspirants have been asked to make available at the printing house agents. Printing is starting and is being conducted by the Electoral Commission according to our guidelines. There shall be 11 polling stations. I can see behind me, you can see the notice of poll which has been delivered to all the regional capitals. And there will be 11 polling centers, 10 in all the regional capitals and an additional one at the party headquarters. Every aspirant is allowed 2 agents per polling station. All voters will be identified by the NPP delegates card, all voters. The poll will start at 8 a.m. and close at 3 p.m. Presiding officers of the Electoral Commission will be in total control of the polling station, and they will be assisted by a representative of the National Executive. All ballots shall be counted and declared, results declared at the polling center. Results declaration forms shall be endorsed by the candidates' agents present, and all results that have been endorsed will be transmitted to the Electoral Commission strong room by the regional directors. More importantly, no polling official shall take instructions from any party member or executive.
He added that measures have been put in place to ensure that everything goes according to plan on the day of the elections.
Ashanti will have a total of 132 on the electoral register voting. 5 of them are National Council members, 16 regional executives, 47 constituency chairmen, 5 members of the National Council of Elders from Ashanti, 16 founding members, 43 members of parliament, making up 132.
Right. Now let's talk about this over the next few minutes. David Agbe is Executive Director for the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. He's joined me with the telephone. Thank you very much, David, for joining us here. Hello, David.
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, Kalani.
Right. Good morning to you, too. Now, in the studio with me is Mohammed Nabali Idrisu. He's a management consultant, and we'll talk about the NPP. I'm going to start with you, Mohammed. The Super Delegates Congress is this weekend, August 31. Is the timing all right for the NPP, considering the number of issues that came up prior to now?
Well, for me, I think the timing is not the issue, but it's the friction, that is happening between the members themselves. I thought they would have done themselves the good thing by halting on it now, but then see to it that they resolve the internal, differences among themselves first. Now, if they are able to do that, then the timing will not have any problem at all, but whatever they want to do.
David, I'm going to pose the same question to you. Is the NPP ready for a Super Delegates Congress this weekend?
I must say yes. In leadership, one of the physical things that we do see very well is that a situation determines a certain leadership style that needs to be adapted. And so for that matter, if NPP recently has been in the media of, various kinds of reasons, I think that the situation calls for it such that the leadership will be able to come to the round table and say that we need to go in for the National Delegate, Congress or conference, and then they will be able to screen the people, the 7 presidential hopefuls, and make sure that they select the 5 people, and then they will go for their national, delegate conference in October. And so for us, looking at it from a perspective of political angle, we might say that, or we would like to say that the situation has determined a certain, attitude and a certain modalities and a certain pragmatic, level of action that needs to be taken by the party hierarchy. So it is appropriate that they are taking these actions so that they will be able to mitigate all these kind of infighting among them.
Now, speaking of...
The point is that if they are able to manage the infighting, the disagreement within the party, it will be able to, actually put them in a certain limelight.
Now,
so
let's talk about managing those disagreements within the party. And I'm happy, Mohammed, you're here. You're a management consultant. How well has the NPP managed its frictions within the party?
Actually, talking about frictions in NPP is not well managed at all. It's not well managed. Because you can't tell me that with the 7 aspirants that we have, each and every aspirant has his own people fighting for him. Now, within that same group of people, there's this management problem. The top hierarchies. The former president has his own group. Nana Donkwa has his own group. Now, if you look at NPP for now, Nana Donkwa also stands as somebody who is, in quote to quote, a formal somebody. And then let's not also rule out a particular serious syndrome. That is the Achim, the Ashanti syndrome. It's also there. Needs to be what? Well managed.
The NPP has always said that's untrue.
No, it's there.
It's a one party.
It's there. Now, for me, I will come and tell you it's one party. But that particular syndrome is there. And it needs to be managed. Managed by who? One person or one entity, that is the former president. He is the only person that has the potential in managing or to manage the particular syndrome.
The same former president, prior to the biggest wrangling we had heard from the party, which caused some chaos at the headquarters, had intervened, and more or less his calls were not heeded. In fact, it's led some people to say that the NPP's lost respect for the same former president, according to you, could actually bring or take away the Asante Achim syndrome within the party. It brings us to a loss then, if he's already intervened and really...
No, you see, it doesn't take us, or it doesn't bring us to a loss. But then it is a question that we need to properly ask and then really deal with it. Why this? Why?
I guess what I'm trying to say is, can he really? What more can he do to?
There are a lot he can do.
Gets the syndrome off.
You see, it's just like when the late President Mills was in power. We all saw what happened between him and Rawlings, right? At a point when he passed on, people were even insinuating that it was through the pressure on him that led to the death or the demise of the former president. Now, last week we all heard what he said. Rawlings is much concerned, no matter what the situation, but NPP or NDC should be in power. Are you getting it? Now, I expected such from the former president.
You think he's not giving pressure enough?
He's not giving. He's not giving. Now, his side, his contribution is very, 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 very small. So far as the unity of NPP is concerned. Former President Kufuor should have been the last person who would have stood up and said, look, A, B, and C, and so be it. looking at NPP.
Why should he have the last word? This is a party that has a national executive council. It has administrative leaders, people at the national level to administrate affairs of...
You ask a very nice question. Why should he? The question is, for how long has NPP remained in opposition? And until the former president, Kufuor, who won president, for how long? It's what we have to look at.
Okay.
Now, we can only talk about one former president, and that is former President Kufuor. Don't forget that NPP is far, far, far older than NDC.
Okay.
So if NDC, being a younger party, can come together, no matter what, they can still come together and then unite their people. Why not the oldest party?
So what you're saying is the pivotal point for the NPP is the extreme involvement of former President John Kufuor. That will be the turning point for him.
No, really. But then you see, when you talk about former President Kufuor,
but he needs to put pressure on them.
He needs to. He needs to put pressure.
And it is the only way that...
It is the only way that, that he can bring these people together. And it will take only... Look, let me tell you. If former President Kufuor wants NPP to come to power today, believe me, it will come to power.
I see. We'll talk about how that can happen. But David, you've had a conversation so far. What do you think?
Yes, I'm following the various issues that my colleague is raising. But we must look at this very well. I must say that in politics, some of these things, in terms of infighting, is an inevitable and a legitimate one. Once upon a time, it will happen. But what currently happened to NPP, for me, it is a bit of our democracy. They've really disrespected democracy within their own quarters. And so it is going to seriously affect them for them to rebrand themselves very well, to become attractive to undecided voters or floating voters. Because long ago, people thought that those characteristics does not exist in NPP in terms of those bad infighting where people could pick machetes and other weapons to their headquarters and do unthinkable things. It's painting a certain picture in the mindset of a certain group of people who are undecided voters. And so they need to really rebrand the party very well. I understand perfectly that former President Kufuor has a critical role to play. But when you compare him to the former President Rawlings, I think that it is mismatched somewhere. The former President Rawlings is somebody in the global world. People see him as that charismatic. And President Kufuor too he also has a certain leadership quality.
David, I wouldn't want us to compare both presidents. Let's just say they have different personalities. Let's move away from that for a bit. So let's talk about the rebranding of the party. And Mohammed, I'll come back to you. For you, if former President John Kufuor decides that the NPP should be in office, then it will happen.
Automatically.
Why?
I don't doubt it at all. You see, former President Kufuor is one person that when he assumed power in 2000, so the last day, that gentleman, did a lot. He did a lot. He did a lot in terms of, bringing the party together, in terms of, uniting the people, in terms of, taking out, some perception that were running in the minds of the people.
And that is how you feel
Are you getting
the NPP could get back into
especially those of us from government. The north and some few foreigners, that are in the Zongo communities, were thinking that, yes, immediately NPP comes to power, he's coming to sack the people here and there. Are you getting it? But unfortunately, nothing of such happened. Are you getting it? So that alone, gave a lot of confidence to our people. And at the end of the day, they realize that, no, what we heard was not it. But at the end of the day, there's something different.
Let's look at this. What effects can the outcome of the Super Delegates Congress have on the party's image, its bid to want to rebrand, like David has mentioned?
Well, for me, I only pray and pray for the NPP that they should even go in there and come out successfully without any controversy like what we saw.
You don't think that
there's
that
a
is
possibility? Yeah, there's a possibility.
To what extent?
There's a possibility. You see, something happened. We haven't solved that problem, and we are moving into a different distance again. Are you getting it? What have we done to manage the first one? Nothing, absolutely. Nothing was done.
David, let me take your take on this.
Yes, creditably, the former President Kufuor, I must say that he has a very critical role to play as far as NPP remodeling is concerned. But I must also add that we should not put every burden on the former president. As we speak now, everybody in the party, both President Kufuor, for instance, Alan Tremantin, Nana Akufo-Addo, everybody is fighting for the soul of the party by making sure that they plant somebody in there that could actually help the party win power. But then that person is where they have the differences, that President Kufuor might belong to his own son or his friend, Alan Tremantin. Nana Akufo-Addo also has his own compatriots, or he has his own contemporaries that they also believe strongly that Nana Akufo-Addo must or should be the president. So each and everyone is actually fighting for the soul of the party to get his candidate.
Let's give the party benefit of doubt. Now they'll be entering the Super Delegates Congress this weekend. The question again is, how can the outcome of that affect the image of the party, positively or negatively?
I am seeing a signs of, unity coming. But they can do that when they respect the hierarchy of the party, when they actually ensure that internal democracy within NPP, is sustained, or they respect internal democracy, where they will be able to respect the General Secretary that he is the one, or he was the one who was voted for at Temale. They will be able to respect Paul Afoko, that Paul Afoko is the chairman. They will be able to respect that John Boadu and other group of people are the people who need to actually manage the party. And then they will also need to recommend to the NEC, the National Executive Council, that these are the decisions that we are taking. If they are able to do those things, there is that, common, agreement or esprit de corps, happening within the party. They will be able to, reshaping themselves and rebrand themselves to become attractive to Ghanaians. But if they do not, plant that seed of internal democracy within the party and showing a sense of respect for former President Kufuor, Kodom Pianin, and other group of people to come together to say that, yes, NPP, we can do it. NPP, this is the new direction, and then we need to involve each and everyone. Everyone has a role to play in terms of reshaping the party.
Right.
If they are able to do that, it will sound very well to Ghanaians. But if they are not able to do that, then I'm sorry, they might not be prepared, to match the current government.
I see. David, we'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much for your time. Mohammed, I'm going to give you the last word. So, for David, unity is on its way for you?
Well, I would have also wished so, that unity would be on its way, because that is what we want. At the end of the day, it's Ghana, one Ghana, the same Ghanaians. These people you see as NPP are Ghanaians. I'm also a Ghanaian. And at the end of the day, I want to see Ghana winning. Not an individual winning, but then Ghana winning. That's what I want to see. So if indeed, well, he is on the ground now, and probably maybe he's seen maybe one or two things happening that might have maybe convinced him to make that assertion, then congrats. I would also want to see so that unity, be restored in the NPP party, so that each and every one or each and every Ghanaian will be confident enough that yes, when they go into the delegation, they will come out successfully. Then Ghana will remain at peace.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for joining me here. Mohammed Nabali Idrisu is a management consultant.